Just hours after Naoya the Monsterino's hard-fought triumph over Ramon Cardenas as the undisputed super bantamweight champion, the boxing world was left in amazement when he called for an instant rematch during his post-fight news conference at T-Mobile Arena. Still showing the effects of their violent meeting, with new swelling on his face and the fight's adrenaline obviously still running through him. Inoue announced the extraordinary desire to run it back with the only guy to recently challenge him. Normally calm and measured in victory, the Japanese superstar spoke with unusual urgency as he said through his translator, "I want to fight Ramon Cardenas again as soon as possible," adding that the challenger had earned this opportunity after pushing him to the limit in what became the most dramatic fight of Inoue's championship ring. The night Inoue's aura of invincibility was really tested when Cardenas connected with a wonderfully timed counter right hand in the second round that left the pound-for-pound champion tumbling to the mat for just the second time in his 30-fight career will be remembered as their first clash. Inoue's championship medal was shown as he steadily took control of the fight and finally scored an 8th-round TKO victory. The damage to his reputation as an invincible force had already been done. CompuS figures showed how really competitive the battle was. Cardenas hit 38% of his power punches, the greatest proportion any opponent has achieved against Inoue since 2019, while the champion took 96 total shots, more than he has taken in any fight over the last 5 years. The perfect storm for this surprising rematch demand was produced by these figures taken along with the dramatic knockdown and evident agony Inoue had at various times throughout the fight. Sources close to Inoue's camp disclosed 3 important elements behind this surprising request for an instant duver, with personal pride seeming to be the main driver. The knockdown obviously hurt the usually unflappable champion more than he openly indicated. According to those who know Inoue best, he was profoundly impacted by being placed on the canvas for just the second time in his professional career. Apart from wounded pride, there were real technical issues that came up throughout the battle, with Inoue's squad pointing out particular defensive flaws in his strategy they feel should be fixed before he advances with his career. Perhaps most crucially, as the champion knows that letting questions about this performance linger might damage his otherwise flawless reign as he considers a move up to featherweight in the near future, legacy protection becomes paramount. Informed of Inoue's rematch challenge while still undergoing his post-fight medical examination, Cardenas immediately accepted without hesitation, telling reporters via his team, "Tell the monster, I'll put him to sleep next time," and adding that the second-round knockdown was just the beginning of what he had planned. Never one to shy away from bold claims, his coach Robert Garcia reaffirmed his fighter's confidence by saying, "We have the blueprint now," and maintained that the knockdown was the outcome of deliberate research and strategic planning, not just a lucky punch, and that it could be even more powerful in a second meeting. With both guys now having something to prove and neither ready to back down from the fight, this passionate reaction from Team Cardenas lays the groundwork for what might turn into one of the most intense rivalries in the lower weight classes. The unexpected rematch request has upset High Rank's carefully crafted plans since the promotion had already scheduled Ino's mandatory defense versus Maraginic model for September. When told of Inoue's backstage request, CEO Bob Arum seemed shocked and told reporters on hand that although they would have to talk about the matter with all parties concerned, he recognized that when Naoya speaks, we listen, suggesting the great power the champion has inside the company. Though it could mean postponing future planned bouts and maybe affecting Inoue's long-term career path, the immediate rematch would surely attract notable fan attention and perhaps high pay-per-view figures. This presents an intriguing promotional challenge. This amazing event has caused mixed reactions in the boxing community as strong debates have arisen on both sides. Advocates of the quick rematch say that the unusual chance to witness an all-time great Avenger knockout and demonstrate his unquestionable supremacy justifies the competitive character of the first bout more than enough to merit a continuation of the conflict. They also underline the possible financial benefit, saying that a second bout might exceed their first pay-per-view figures considering the dramatic narrative now developing on the other side. Critics say Inoue comfortably won the fight on the scorecards, leading 68-63 on all 3 judges' cards at the moment of stoppage, and that chasing this rematch poses an unneeded risk that might postpone future interesting bouts. Insiders say the rematch might headline a December pay-per-view event, with early talks already pointing toward Allegiant Stadium as a possible location to handle the anticipated great demand, much like the long-awaited Amodale confrontation if authorized. As the champion has usually taken longer gaps between fights, particularly after very tough battles, this rapid turnaround would be unprecedented for an Inoue championship defense. The increased timetable reveals much about how seriously Inoue is confronting this issue to his dominance, as he seems hell-bent on erasing any uncertainty about his superiority as fast as possible. It also offers both combatants an interesting preparation dynamic since they would be confronting one another again with fresh memories of their initial meeting and little time to make important changes to their game plans. Apart from the obvious effects on an OA and Cardenas, this unexpected event has more far-reaching effects for the super bantamweight category and boxing generally. Other top candidates like Immortal and Stephen Fulton now find themselves in limbo, unsure when or if they'll receive their promised cracks at the undisputed supremacy. Given that this is a rare case of a dominant champion intentionally pursuing an instant do ver rather than progressing on to fresh challenges, the scenario also provokes intriguing debates regarding championship rematch culture in contemporary boxing. Whether this is an isolated event or indicates a change in how elite fighters handle contentious performances will depend on future events, but it has definitely generated active discussion all over the sport. One thing has become clearly evident as the boxing world examines this startling turn of events. Naoya Inoue versus Ramon Cardenas would not be just another title defense. Rather, it would be a full-fledged showdown with legacy-defining consequences for Inoue. It offers a chance to quiet critics and strongly reaffirm his supremacy. For Cardinal Oz, it's a second opportunity to finish what would be one of the largest shocks in modern boxing history. The emotional character of their initial meeting, together with the high personal stakes now linked to the rematch, produces all the components for a possible fight of the year contender that might improve both men's careers independent of the result. Whether this turns out to be a champion's egotistical overcorrection or a stroke of promotional genius will only become obvious with time. Nonetheless, the lower weight classes that haven't had this degree of drama in years have been immediately electrified. Boxing fans worldwide have a fascinating new storyline to follow as negotiations start behind the scenes as both sides get ready for what might be an even more severe second chapter to their conflict. One that guarantees fireworks when these two warriors unavoidably meet again in the ring and personal drama, high stakes, and nearly certain high stakes. The only remaining query is if the sequel might maybe match the exciting original that has the whole sports world buzzing.